I'm not your babysitter. Handle it yourself. That sentence hit me and my daughter like a hammer made of ice. Lily was shivering on the bench outside her school, clutching her backpack, her hair tangled in the biting wind, her eyes empty. I sat in the car, gripping my phone, unable to move. From that moment on, I knew she had to understand that indifference comes with a cost, and she would have to face the consequences of her actions. Weeks, then months passed. My mother went from anger to helplessness, then to despair. I remained silent, letting her tremble in her own powerlessness. In the end, she begged, she feared, and she didn't dare meet my gaze, finally realizing what her coldness had meant. This wasn't the first time. I remembered those bitter winters in high school, when she would scold me with sharp words, calling me irresponsible and immature. In college, she mocked my choice of boyfriends, even ridiculing me in front of relatives as weak and neurotic. Later, when I was working, whenever I asked for the smallest favor, she made me feel as though I was asking too much, even if it was just an hour of childcare. But this time, it wasn't just me who got hurt. It was Lily. My daughter, who didn't understand why her grandmother could so coldly reject her suffering, only feeling abandoned by the world. From that moment, I knew I had to act. Not by shouting, not by venting on social media, but through quiet action, to let her experience the consequences of her indifference. For the next month, I didn't answer her calls, didn't reply to texts. Lily gradually adapted to life without her grandmother's interference. Her smile returned, though occasional confusion still crossed her face. I arranged weekends for her with her friend Carol, trips to museums, movies, and crafts. Each time, I made sure my mother could not intervene. My mother began calling, leaving messages, even crying to beg, but I remained silent. Each unanswered call served as a quiet reminder: love and care cannot be demanded, and absence has its price. I even received a letter from a lawyer. My parents had updated their will, removing me as executor and giving the role to my cousin Rachel, the same one who had never cared about Lily. The envelope was thick, the paper expensive, each line intentionally excluding me. I smiled. I no longer cared about their surface control. What mattered was the deeper result: my parents would face the consequences of how their behavior had hurt Lily. Finally, on a weekend in February, I took Lily to a store to buy cake decorations. My mother appeared at the end of the aisle, her eyes darting between me and Lily. Lily forced a small smile, but didn't run into her grandmother's arms as she used to. She only nodded politely. My mother opened her arms and paused for a second, like a piece of paper blown by the wind, unsure of what to do. I said nothing. We picked frosting and candies and slowly pushed the cart to the checkout. My mother asked if she could come with us to Carol's house. I shook my head coldly. No. She froze. Her smile stiffened, her voice rising. Isn't this a little extreme? Are you punishing me? I simply placed the frosting in the cart and walked away. She didn't realize that my silence was sharper than any words. At that moment, she felt a helplessness unlike anything before. Days passed. My mother went from anger to tears, then to utter helplessness. I stayed calm, watching her every attempt. My father remained the same, pretending nothing was happening, like air. In Lily's world, apart from Carol and me, no one could disturb her sense of safety. She gradually stopped asking about her grandmother and began to play and draw freely. During this time, I repeatedly recalled my mother's past indifference and humiliation. In high school, she mocked me for a minor illness, calling me so fragile it's ridiculous. In college, she openly criticized my choice of partner, accusing me of dragging down the family. At work, she never acknowledged my efforts, always using sharp words and cold looks to make me doubt myself. All these memories formed a layer of ice pressing on my heart. Today, I no longer need that ice to weigh me down, and I will not allow her to weigh down my daughter either. In early March, my mother slipped on her front steps, and my father injured his back trying to help her. A neighbor reported it to me, and I didn't go. I imagined them trapped at home, powerless in the freezing winter night with their injured bodies. I called Carol, "Can Lily go to the Children's Museum today?" Carol agreed. That day, Lily laughed like a free little bird, her voice echoing through the museum. I knew she was experiencing safety and care, no longer consumed by cold indifference. Weeks later, my mother began to try to make amends, though she still struggled with apologies. She brought hot cocoa for Lily, sat quietly beside her, handing her a blanket. During school poetry readings, she clapped from the back without inserting herself or seeking attention. I watched every interaction, ensuring her actions were measured and within boundaries. Lily slowly began to accept her presence, not through blind trust but by judging for herself what felt safe. Summer came, and Lily invited her grandmother to a dance recital. I agreed, but made clear, no photos, no gifts, just an observer role. After the performance, my mother handed Lily a bouquet of daisies and whispered a few words Lily could understand. Lily smiled. "Grandma says she's proud of me." I looked at my daughter, her eyes clear and peaceful. I finally understood, silence and boundaries were the strongest protection I could give Lily. My mother wasn't fully forgiven, but she was learning how to appear appropriately in a child's world. I was no longer bound by past humiliations and taught my daughter that love could be shown through actions, not words. At night, I sat by the window, the summer breeze brushing my face, remembering that winter day when Lily clutched her backpack on the school bench. The cold, the loneliness, the sense of abandonment had once been deeply etched into memory. Now, it had a new meaning. We were no longer frozen, no longer controlled. The past pain hadn't been erased, but it had taught us how to survive and how Lily could remain gentle while protecting herself. My mother remained stubborn, her edges still sharp, but she learned how to appear appropriately, how to respect boundaries, and began to understand the pain caused by her previous absence. I didn't celebrate or proclaim victory loudly. I simply protected my daughter, safeguarded her world. In Lily's drawings, we three held hands, Carol beside us, names labeled, a symbol of new life, strength, and protection. In the end, I realized revenge wasn't about punishing bloodline indifference. It was about using calm action to let the offender feel powerless and out of control, teaching a child safety and love. My mother's trembling and helplessness was the first time she truly understood the consequences of her behavior. And Lily and I had stepped out of that winter cold, learning to live freely and warmly in the world.